Welcome to the PerfectBee channel. I'm Brittany, and today I'm going to show you how to assemble our wooden frames and install plastic foundation. So I've already assembled a couple just to show you what the final product will look like. I have our black deep plastic foundation, and something that I did that you can choose to do or not do. Some plastic foundation will have perforated corners, and the purpose of that is you can bend them and break off the corners so that at the bottoms of the frames the bees have easier access to go from frame to frame. Now this black plastic foundation that we sell does not have the perforated corners, but what I did was I just took a razor and just carefully cut off the corners. It literally took no time at all, and I like that option for my bees. And you're going to want to do that before you install the foundation, if that's something you choose to do. So what you're going to need is you're going to need a hammer and nails or a nail gun, some way to nail these together. These frames do not come with the hardware, with the nails, so you do need to make sure that you have nails. We also sell those in the PerfectBee store. Now what I'm choosing to use is this old Folgers can of nails that belonged to my papaw, and these nails have gone into a lot of my projects. I like to make a lot of things, so that's what I'm using. I believe these are maybe 1-inch nails. They're about 1-inch nails, and you don't want them to be too long or it's going to start to split your wood. So first, you're going to need to take off the straps. You can cut them off. I slid out a couple and then they'll slide right off. What you're going to need for each frame: 2 side panels, your top bar, and your bottom bar. So since your top bar is your sturdiest piece of wood on the frame, I like to start with that at the bottom. Lay it upside down. Make sure that you put your groove where it's going to be on the inside for your foundation to go in. And these fit pretty snugly, so you will have to put a little elbow grease into it to get them in. Make sure that it's squared up in space, and we're going to flip them over and put a couple nails in them. Make sure that you center with your sidebar. Then you're going to want to flip this over. Now, if you are building frames from scratch, that is going to be your best opportunity to install your plastic foundation. But I will also show you how to do it if you are changing out the foundation on pre-built frames, because that is possible too. So you want to slide your foundation into the groove of the top bar, and then put your bottom bar on and make sure you put the groove facing down towards the foundation. Squeeze that into place. You're going to want to line up your foundation to where it goes right into the groove, and then you want to make sure everything is squared up. And then we're going to put a few more nails in. And this is a more narrow spot. I have found that 1 nail in this spot works sufficiently. And there you have it. Also, just a tip that I picked up along the way from the Hive Doctor, which is a friend of ours. If you are a person who likes to repair your frames, don't use glue when you assemble your frames, because if a piece of this breaks and you have to repair it and you don't glue it, then you can pretty easily pry it apart and replace, let's say, just the side panel or the bottom bar. But if you glue it together and you break a piece, you're pretty much going to have to scrap the whole frame, because if you try to pry it apart and it's been glued together, that's probably not going to end well. All right, so I went ahead and built another frame without putting the foundation in, so that I can show you a pretty easy way to put the foundation in if you have pre-existing frames and maybe you're changing out your foundation. So the easiest way that I have found to do this is, again, your top bar is your strongest piece of wood on your frame. Put that down, so your frame's upside down. Take your sheet of foundation and get it in that top groove. And then what I do is I take one of the corners and just kind of, I'm pushing on the back side here some, so it kind of bows just gently. Kind of, you have to put a little force into it, but be gentle. And then bend it to where it just barely will go under there. And then push at the end, and then just kind of go along the edge the rest of the way across, a little at a time, and push it into place where it's in that bar or that groove. And there's your newly installed plastic foundation. So I hope that was a helpful video for you. If you have any questions, make sure you leave it in the comments. Happy beekeeping, and we'll see you in the next one.